science, music, literature, drama, the whole culture, even Afro-American history can be traced directly to the Africans of Asia. In this book, called The Gods of Northern Buddhism, we find the name, the Asian name of the supreme deity of the universe. His name is Sambo. They say when nothing else was, Sambo was. This is a depiction of Sambo. This is not an African statue. This is from Asia. And many places in Asia are called Sambo Judasia, the land of the descendants of Sambo.
In 1843, a group of blackface performers joined together to form a single troupe. Instead of delineators, they called themselves minstrels. The minstrel show captivated broad audiences, mostly in the North, and emerged as America's first form of national popular entertainment. Like movies today, successful minstrels played to the tastes and values of their audiences. Jim Crow, reflecting popular demand, evolved into the singing, dancing Sambo. This lighthearted figure became one of the most potent forces in the politics of slavery.
Ho, ho, ho! Well, Mr. Sambo Darky Coon.
Byword, a nation called out their name, Negroes. See all these words? By Elder Mark Maccabi. All these words. The ancient deity, Sambo.
The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and, oh my god, why are you even watching this?
Nagas.
Nagas. What is the language of origin?
Ethiopian to Amharic.
What is the definition?
A king. It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia. Nagas.
Nagas. Could you use it in a sentence?
The Nagas ruled Ethiopia until the coup of 1974.
Nagas. Could you repeat the definition?
A king. It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia. Nagas.
Did you say the word?
Nagas.
Andrew, did you say the word loudly for the judges?
Nagas.
One more time?
Nagas.
Nagas.
Nagas. Negus. Negus. Negus.
What is good, my
Nagas, the divine people of Buddhism. This is a 2nd century depiction of Gautama the Buddha being given his first bath by the divine people of Buddhism called Nagas, a tribe in Asia called Nagas, the divine people of all the people of Asia, symbolized throughout Asia by the serpent or the dragon. That is their symbol, the Naga.
The reason the Buddha is the first manifestation of God is because the Buddha represents the entire cosmos. This Buddha became the Milky Way today. See, today they give us the Milky Way galaxy as the all-seeing eye. This represents God, because God ain't nothing but vortex energy. This Milky Way symbol is the ninja star. The ninja star represents the Merkaba, the 6-pointed star. This ninja star was not even a tool of war. It would have been used like a saw to cut stones, not to cut people. They don't want us to know that the Asiatic black man invented sculpting and stone, and working with the stone. We the first builders and masons. By cutting the stone, the ninjas, the word ninja come from the word ninga, and the word ninga come from the word nigga, naga, nigga, naga, ninga, ninja. The black man was the original ninja.
How is it holding up, my nigga?
So we're gonna be dealing with niggas, Naja, even Naja. Even though there is no damn J into the damn 16th century. You understand what I'm saying? So that's actually Naga. but there is a form of the serpent that is used in Africa, West Africa and East Africa under the term naga. Okay, see, they want to play with us. You understand? Naga, nagas, nega, N-E-G-A, as in Senegal, nagas, which is the queen, divine queen of Abyssinia. We're talking about naga, N-A-G, naga. You see what I'm saying? The black spinning cobra of Africa, West Africa. It may be some in Europe too. When we look at, you know what I'm saying, the term nagas, you understand we dealing with divinity when you talk about the feta nagas, the law of kings. You see what I'm saying? So you see naga or naga is alignment with kingship, sovereignty. You see what I'm saying? Principality. You see? And so when you say nagas is king, and you understand that naga is the king cobra, you actually say nagas, you saying the king cobra. And so again, you see right here, nagas, a title of Ethiopian royalty, the African queen of a nagas. And so it must be stated that this is a divine queen. This is not no queen. This is not no king. This is a king and a queen ordained by God to rule. So if you say niggas, and you see that I in there, you understand what I'm saying? And that expression is also taken even when you say Nagini. You got the Naga, but you got the Nagini. You use the I. You see what I'm saying? So when you say niggas Naga, that's Queen Clover. So here you see the Pharaoh, the deity, which is a deity, taking the expression of the Naga. You see, so this was long before even India. You understand what I'm saying? Who you think took it to India? When you see the Nemesis crown, it's nothing but the hood of the cobra representing the warrior king poised to strike. Again, showing you the Western Kush, Africa, the Naga, and then you see it in the Eastern Kush, Asia. Even the wing, so you got different forms of the Naga. You also got the Naga with the wings. And so you see that expression is also taken in India, and it was brought to the Americas where you get Quetzalcoatl, represented also with a human face, but also as the winged serpent. They see the Hindu expression of the Naga, and they don't even actually understand that the Naga as a manifestation of half human, half serpent, or even the deity represented as a full serpent preceded India by thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? So they actually think we're taking something from India and washing Africa with it when it actually appeared in Africa, but before any historical India was on the map as far as I'm concerned, because India is one of our colonies, but is in no competition with how ancient Africa is. And so when you look at Senegal, you see Niger is in Senegal. Okay, now a lot of people want to talk to Medunada. They want to talk to Medunada until we say something that you just don't like. Now, this is the same expression, the same so-called language that, you Negroes want to speak and swear to God you speaking from ancient Egypt. The same expressions that gave you all the deities that you speak today, all the terms that you speak today come out of this same in a hieroglyphic expression dictionary. This one happens to be Wallace, E.A. Wallace Budge. You see what I'm saying? What does he say about, this word that today we say, nigga? I say, what? I goes in here and it says nigger, okay? The goose goddess who laid the sun egg.
Are you from the motherland, my
nigga means serpent or dragon, the snake, found at the entrance of every temple. The nigga on the roads, on the hills, in the caves, the symbol of the Asiatic black man, the tribe called the niggas, the divine people. There are cities also throughout Asia that carries this particular name, Nega. It can be seen at all ceremonies dealing with worship of God. From the Nile Valley to the Indus Valley, on tombstones, a symbol of immortality because of the serpent's ability to change his skin, is a sign of never dying, and is used throughout the planet Earth, North, South America, Egypt, Asia, Africa, throughout the world. It's the symbol of life after death, the naga, the serpent. In all ancient cultures, in all ancient religions, the serpent is the symbol, the naga, the symbol of divinity, of God. The original inhabitants of Southeast Asia was called the Mons, an African tribe. In order to confirm what these people look like, you have to go to the archaeological finds from Davarati, a French archaeological research finding confirming the original inhabitants. There's no depictions preceding these of the original inhabitants of Southeast Asia, the people, the descendants of Sambo, the Asiatic black man. The 7 serpents, or 7 rays, or the nagas surrounding his head, represent the cosmic forces that afford him protection. He is a divine representation of cosmic forces, and those 7 serpents represent his divine mission. He does not come of his own. He's a manifestation of the cosmos. The serpents, or the naga, represent cosmic forces which is at his command, which represent him as a divinity. He is the manifestation of the universe. In order to remove all doubt, the Buddha, the enlightened one, the intelligent one, the genie, the conqueror, decided to make manifest to the world irrefutable evidence. They wanted to prove to a people in the future the manifestation of God, that God manifests himself through human beings, through men. These people, the black people of Asia, predicted or prophesied what they would do 2,500 years into the future. Now, the scriptures of the world have all prophesied at the end of the age, which we are now entering, the age of Aquarius, we shall see the revelation of that which is secret. This, our present age, is that time, the end of the cycle, the beginning of the new age.
Where are you from, my nigga?
So you could go into Africa and you see the worship, and you can see the hood on the serpent. You see that the Ka, the black Ka, is worshiping the Queen Cobra as a deity. You go into West Africa, you can go into the Caribbean, and you see also our people there are worshiping the Naga, the serpent, as a symbol of immortality, creation, infinite consciousness. You go into other areas, all of them are worshiping this powerful representation of the deity as the King Cobra, as the Queen Cobra, as the serpent. Okay, so you see here from Africa to India to even the Americas with Pakao. You understand? Also represented as a Naga, which cannot be a coincidence. You see what I'm saying? You got Nagasaki, Japan. You also got Kushiro, Japan. You got Kush, Japan. And there's evidence that the Kushites were even in Japan, and they got documents of it. The little Twa was in Japan, and they got little mythologies of the leprechaun in Ireland and in Britain. They got, little mythologies of the little Twa in Japan. Even there, Nagasaki. You understand? Showing you that this expression, this is Tashaka, king of the Naga. The Zulus was off the east coast of Africa, also on what we call the Kushite Indian Ocean. You see what I'm saying? You got Queen Nandi, mother of Shaka, and you also got Nandi, the sacred bull of India. When you deal with the 7 Nagas that protect the Buddha, just like the Uraeus is protecting the Pharaoh, you got the 7 Naga that protects the Buddha, and which is nothing more than the 7 stars of Orion that's sacred to Asa. These are the black Christs of the ancient world. Now, when they say Christ, they'll give you the Greek expression, the anointed, or the anointed one. They just don't answer the question, anointed with what? Even when you look at the Mon, which is to the left, a Mon Khmer royal headdress, you see the curls in the crown, just like when you look at the war crown of Egypt. You see that they got the circles in there to represent the coily, spirally hair, African hair. So when you look over there today, you're gonna see some white, Asian. That's not the Naga. Okay, these is the Nagas, which you don't want to recognize. These are the African woolly haired Buddhas. You understand? When you look at it, you want to know who was there. Look at the deity. The deity is the supreme expression of the people. And so you see right here that India broke away from Africa. They got, what they'll say 71, and they'll show you the variations of what they believe it to be down through the ages, but it broke away from Africa. When did Madagascar become an island? Madagascar and India broke off from Africa as a single continent, they say 115 million years ago. India broke off of Madagascar 88 million years ago. India continued north on a collision course with Asia. So we got to understand that India broke away from Asia.
Are you doing well, my nigga?
This book by Ivan van Sertima raises the question of the African presence in early Asia. How did they get to Asia? This is the future Buddha. How did they get to Asia? They were called the Mons. And the wind and the rain in Asia is called the monsoon. This is the key to how they got to Asia. The monsoon wind in April blows from the southwest, and in October it blows from the northeast. The monsoon wind blows from Africa to Asia, and from Asia back to Africa. The wind from April to October blows from the southwest, and from October to April it blows from the northeast. These two trade routes and routes that of travel is the direction of the Mons, the Africans of Asia. They went from Africa to Asia, and from Asia to Africa, and they were called the Mons. Like the monsoon, Africa was called Hither India, which India, here I am, come hither, come here where I am. And they would get on the ocean and get in the wind. This is where the phrase get in the wind come from your previous life. The Africans of Asia got to Asia by getting in the wind. This is confirmed from the 1st century. The Greeks knew how they got to Asia, the wafting sailors. They call it the divine ship of salvation. The Mons, when they would arrive in Asia and when they would leave Asia. The Japanese badge of nobility is called a Mon. The monsoon, the monastery, Mani, is identified with the black man of Asia. And the largest statues on the planet Earth located in Asia are depictions of the Buddha, the black man, the Jinnah.
They taught that the serpent people were devils. But listen, they called us the Mons. The Mon equals demon. Demon. They started to demonize these people. The Mons became demon. The word naga became nigger. And the serpent now became something evil. Y'all, it's time we go back to that which they took from us.
Who are your ancestors, my nigga?
Anacalypsis, an attempt to draw aside the veil of the Saitic Isis, or an inquiry into the origin of languages, nations, and religions, by Godfrey Higgins. This is volume 1. This is written in 1836. The religion of Buddha of India is well known to have been very ancient. In the most ancient temples scattered throughout Asia, where his worship is yet continued, he is found black as yet, okay? He is found in the temples, in the walls, all right? On the temple walls, he is found black as yet, with a black face, thick lips, and curly hair of the Negro. This is what you're finding Buddha being represented as in these ancient temples. Remember his first name, Gautama, Guatemala, his mom is Maya. Who are the Nagas? Who are the Maya? Where's Buddha really from? Several statues of him may be met with in the Museum of the East India Company. There are 2 exemplars of him brooding on the face of the deep upon a coiled serpent. To what time are we to allot this Negro? You see what he's calling him? He will be proved to have been prior to the god called Krishna. He must have been prior or contemporaneous with the Black Empire. The religion of this Negro god is found by the ruins of his temples and other circumstances to have been spread over an immense extent of country, even to the remotest parts of Britain, and to have been professed by devotees inconceivably numerous. I very much doubt whether Christianity at this day is professed by more persons than yet profess the religion of Buddha.
Are you an indigenous American, my nigga?
And so when you talk about the crucified, images, you see that the one that, that just, which one don't fit? You see what I'm saying? You can see right there, all the other ones was Cushite black, but the one that don't fit is the one in the middle, stolen. Then stolen our legacy. When you see the winged serpent and you see the wing with the crown, you got to understand that that's only symbolic of us as a people, that we are the winged serpents. You understand? We are the nagas. We are the nagas. We are the neger. We are that. Not the expression of the oppressor. We're not that. This existed, goddammit, tens of thousands of years before any Cro-Magnon Neanderthal even walked on the planet. And so when you see the Hindus blowing the flute and the serpent in the bowl dancing and, moving back and forth to a melody, you got to understand that was done in Africa thousands of years before any Hindu even existed on the planet. To the left, you see Quetzalcoatl. This is not a coincidence. The Kushites took it all over the planet. These are deep, sacred, spiritual teachings that could not be a coincidence. Okay? Now, there was in the church that was Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simon that was called nigger.
I've always been told that that's how you pronounce that, niger, this word right here, that we find in Strong's Greek lexicon. It says niger, but it says it's not pronounced niger. Its pronunciation is neger. It says it's of Latin origin. It means black. Neger, a Christian. So neger is of Latin origin and it means black, and it's a Christian. And so I got this book, Zondervan, and it's called the Bible Pictorial Dictionary. And so I looked up the word neger there, and it says neger is a surname of Simeon. So a surname is like the name of a group of people. And it says that he is one of the 5 prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch who were led of the Lord to send Paul and Barnabas on the first missionary journey. And then it says that it's probably a Hebrew Christian from North Africa. So the disciples were called Christians first at Antioch, and a Christian is a neger, and a neger is probably a Hebrew Christian from North Africa. But I'm like, man, did they call them Christians at Antioch, or did they call them niggers at Antioch?
What is you doing, my nigga?
Now, when you go into the Black Madonna, you see Negra, some said Formosa, in reference to the Black Madonna. You see what I'm saying? Now, what does that mean? Now, coming out of, looking on the internet, it said that interpretation, as well as later efforts to find correspondence between the life of Jesus and older scriptures, allowed a Latin translation of an earlier passage from Solomon. Negra, some said Formosa, I am black but godly. Ain't no comely. I am black but godly. See, they done went in there and changed things. You understand? That was when black was divine, spoken by a sun-darkened woman to be adopted into Roman Catholic services celebrating the Virgin Mary. So they can use the expression in divinity. They can use it in the expression to the Holy Mother, the most holy symbol in all of Catholicism. They can use it. They don't have no problem using it. Soon as you use it, you're also trapped in the oppressor's state of thinking. You can't even see that there's hundreds of, expressions all around the Kushite world. None of them mean anything negative. All of them mean divine, sovereignty, principality, deity. And the only thing you can see, you trapped. You got niggeritis. That's what you got. You see what I'm saying? Even the substantia nigra, which is, the back of the brain where you see that dark melanin. It's also a melanin center. You understand? That gives us the ability of movement. You understand? Eye coordination and, being able to run and, movement. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that are affected by this area. And when you don't have that melanin in the back of the brain in that area, this is where you get Parkinson's disease and other diseases. You understand? It comes from that melanin. When you talk about Black Madonna, it's Negrum Madonna. They have no problem. And nowhere in all the world is it negative, only in the whatever it is, the slave expression. And the only expression is so to stop us from playing that musical note, that frequency. You say it's negative, but everybody, even other oppressors, is using it in a definition of divinity. Other Africans from Ethiopia and all over the ancient India are using it in a term of divinity and righteousness and so on, if sovereignty and principality, and the only thing you can see is the oppressor, man. The first thing you got to do is unlock the prison that you didn't put that Cro-Magnon Neanderthal in your brain, because he's the one control. He's the warden of the prison of your mind, and you cannot think outside of that. The Black Madonna, Negro Madonna. Then you also got Nigalapsis, which is a stone in Rome. You understand what I'm saying? And then you had a Roman emperor, Pescennius Nigger is what it is. It's nigger. It means black in Latin. You see what I'm saying? And so today you got Nigeria, which was, that country was given the name Nigeria, the expression Nigeria, from a white woman, Lady Shaw, if I'm not mistaken, and even Niger. Ain't no Niger.
What's the word my nigga?
There you see it right on the screen. I'm going to tell you exactly what it means. Literally serpent, the name in the Indian pantheon of the serpent or dragon spirits and the inhabitants of Patala, hell. These niggas are in hell. But Patala means antipodes and was the name given to America. Now these are some niggas in hell in America, given to America by the ancients who knew and visited that continent before Europe ever heard of it. This term is probably akin to the Mexican nagas, and they have them as the gnats in Burma. And the esoteric term is represented by the dragon in China and Tibet. And it varies all countries all over the world. In South Central America, they're called nagas or nagal. It's known all over the world. It's widespread. It's associated with cosmic forces, with celestial gods, with the constellations, with astrology. The naga, the serpent, is the identifying symbol of your ancestors because they never died and they had a way of proving it. All you have to do is look at the ancient ruins all over the world, the ancient temples, the ancient symbols of divinity from China to any place you go. Right here is the wisdom. They were identified with wisdom and with death and rebirth and resurrection. They were identified with the resurrection of the dead, of proving life after death. That's why the serpent changes its skin. And it was the symbol that your ancestors live, die, and come back. And you could go to north, Central or South America before the conquistadors came. These were the pyramid temples with the serpent, the naga outside. Now, step pyramids, the same principles used all over the world, you will find all over the world, and the serpent is present in each one of them. The nigga sits on a serpent, symbolized by the black man, the Africans of Asia, 7 cosmic forces protecting him. And you will find the same principle teachings in ancient Egypt. If the Egyptologists would just evaluate this for a minute, they see it's the same people doing the same thing. His hair confirms who he is, depicting the black man. Like this image of the Buddha in Thailand and Southeast Asia are representations of the black Africans of Asia. There are no other statues or monuments of antiquity that precede them. They manifest themselves on earth and prove life after death. This from Ceylon or Sri Lanka, showing the Buddha, thousands of years old, representing the black people of Asia, or the black man of Asia, the one who comes back from the dead to prove immortality. They do it all the time in all the countries, and they prophesied that they would do it before the end of this century. The genie, the one who comes back from the dead, carved in solid rock 70 feet high. The Asiatic black man, the manifestation of God who comes back to preach and explain the doctrine of immortality, how to escape the fires of hell. That is his sole purpose. To attack him is to attack the cosmic forces of God. He sits in Western style because he will be born in the West. The people who he will be born among are called the nagas.
Where do you come from, my nigga?
Most of us were taught that we were Indian or had Indian in our blood. When Columbus came to America, he referred to the people here as Naga Indians. And they were black Asiatic people who were practicing what we call Buddhism today, a form of it in antiquity. Black people in America always had their origins told to the world by the people in the South who got the oldest black blood in America, who've always said, we've been on this land, indigenous to this land, we the true Indians and the nagas, niggas, naga, which the word nigger came from. And by the way, the word nigger is not an insult. That's who we are. We're the niggas. Everybody in the world know us by that title, and we won't own it because we offended by what we are. That's called reverse psychology. If you go up to a Mexican and laugh at him and be like, you're a Mexican, they will deny what they really are. Now you calling him what he really is, but you're laughing, the energy you're doing it, you're insulting it. That's how they did us. They said, you're a naga, you're a nigga, and we didn't want to be niggas no more. But that's what we really are. The whole world always knew us as the nagas, the serpent people. And all we gotta do is re-own that, and everybody already call us by that. Everybody in the world know what the nigga is. The black people in America. We ain't gotta go and reteach the whole world with a new identity. Everybody know when they hear nigga, them the black folks in America. I don't care where you at. Why don't we own it, y'all? We already got a international identity and you offended by it. That's reverse psychology.
What I want you to understand, when we say the indigenous people of America, we talking about, of course, the tribes, but these tribes come from greater families or greater populations or greater nations or greater empires of peoples. So although you may have, let's say, the Chickasaw, the Wichita, the Muskogee, the Oconee, you may have these different tribes, but please believe that all these tribes came from one major group or one major family, okay? So don't get the names mixed up. These names are just different little, like I said, they're just tribal identifiers, but as far as the ethnicity and whatever empire these people came from, it was the exact same. So when we say all these so-called Native American tribes, in the modern world, you all would call them Negro, because in a lot of literature that I read and a lot of research I see, they connect a lot of the indigenous American so-called tribes and peoples to the quote-unquote Negro race. So we talk about, once again, the indigenous, let's say Yamasee. These are quote unquote Negro people. So we had the late archaic, also known as the Adena cultures as well, which ranged from about 3000 BC to about 1500 BC. And then they'll date the Adena culture sometime from 1500 BC to 300 AD. Now, like I said, we are a super ancient primordial people. So you got the late archaic period here in the old Americas. You have the Adena culture in old America. Like, for example, when we got the different serpent mounds and the serpent walls across the Americas, you know, these are, you know, built by the people that they call the Olmecs, okay? And they were a so-called Negro race. So not all Olmecs look like the Olmec head statues. You see, just like all so-called black people or all so-called African Americans don't look alike, but they all come from the same nation or the same empire. It's the same with the Olmecs. So we don't want to think in our head that the only phenotype for the Olmec is that one we see on the head. Now we know that that is the primary or the dominant phenotype, okay? But we don't want to just think that all the people look like that, all right? So as far as the Adena, the Hopwell, the Mississippian, you know, these are just some of the ancient civilizations in the Americas, all right? And these are the mound building people, also known as the pyramid building people.
The Diamond Sutra. It comes to the chosen people of God at the end of the cycle. The Buddha gives this to the niggas to hold until such a time that the world is ready for it. The niggas give this religious teaching to Nigga Juna, and Nigga Juna turns it over to the black people of America, the Negro. What does that mean? That means that the black people of America are the ones chosen by God to provide to the world the proof of the resurrection of the dead.
What's good, nigga?
Not trying to be insensitive, but you is not my relative. All irrelevant conversations take me out my element. I seen a nigga hating on me. Man, don't you be a